I want to thank everybody for being here today. Today we stand united in outrage, in defiance, and in unwavering resolve. We gather here from LA, San Bernardino, Riverside, Orange County, Northern California, and beyond to shine a light on the darkest corners of our society. We are here to expose a corruption so deep, so insidious, that is tearing families apart, sending children to the hands of those who harm them, and destroying lives without remorse. This isn't a fight for family rights, it's a fight for human dignity, for our children, against a broken system that has allowed abuse to thrive under its watch. It is a fight against a judiciary that calls itself a protector, but it's nothing more than a predator. What do we call it when judges deliberately place children in the hands of abusers? Abusers who prey on the innocent, be it through emotional, physical, sexual, or drug abuse. These criminals destroy lives. What do we call it when a judge is responsible for safeguarding our most vulnerable, our children, as they turn a blind eye, silencing the cries for help, and sanction the abuse instead of stopping it? We call it crimes against humanity. We see it every day. We hear the stories from families torn apart families torn apart because the court system that was designed to protect them has instead been weaponized against them. We hear of children, our children, be sent to live in hellish conditions who have a history of violence with people who are abusers. The very children we fight for, the ones we care for, are being erased from their families. Their safety, their well-being, their futures, all ignored by the corrupt system that chooses to punish the good and reward the guilty. I'll say it again. Punishes the good and rewards the guilty. Families have lost their homes, jobs, health, dignity, and many have lost their lives. And why? Because judges, appointees, and attorneys who are sworn to uphold the law have turned a blind eye. They allow perjury in their courtrooms. They ignore evidence. They allow children to stay with abusers, to be forgotten by the courts, while their voices scream in silence. It is not a mistake. It's an atrocity. And it's happening right now. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly as it was designed for those in power, for those who don't care about the truth, for those who benefit from the suffering of children and families. Judges like those who allow it to happen should be held accountable. And that goes for the appointees, CPS, monitors, therapists, and attorneys. The attorneys are threatening our families, advocates for the children who silence those who speak out must be held accountable, and it's at its fullest degree. This isn't just a question of reform anymore. This is a question of justice. We are done staying silent. We are done letting our families be destroyed by corruption, by the unethical actions of those in power. We are here to make it clear we will not let this continue. The time for change is now. We demand accountability for those who profit from the trauma of our children. They cannot hide behind judicial immunity, which they use any longer. Their crimes, and yes, I say crimes, have been verified and exposed. It is time to take them down. We will no longer let them rob us of our children's future. And that is why we are here today. We are here to support a man who has dedicated his life to fighting the corruption that has plagued this system and this beautiful state of California. A man who has fought against the power structures that continue to ignore the communities of California. A man who is committed to restoring justice and integrity in our family courtrooms and in California alone. Michael Gates is the change we need. He fought Sacramento for 10 years, fighting corruption and speaking out to the families and communities who have been silenced by the system. And I talk about every official office in the system. As Attorney General, Michael Gates will do more than just promise change. He will deliver it. And he will work tirelessly to clean up all the official offices that have turned a blind eye to the suffering of families. He will fight for the families, for the children, and for those voices that have been stolen. The time has come to stand together and ensure that corruption no longer thrives in the darkest corners of our court system and in California. Let's make sure that Michael Gates is elected and that Rob Bonta is removed from office for his failure to fight for us and his role in enabling the chaos and corruption we are seeing today. Now, after hearing the truth, after seeing the reality of what's up against us, it's time for us to stand behind the one person who is ready to take the fight to the very institutions that have failed us. A man who has dedicated his life to exposing the corruption and ensuring justice for families across California. It is my honor to introduce you to the next Attorney General of California, Michael Gates.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the invitation to be here and speak today. Thank you, Christine, so much for everything that you're doing. Absolutely right. When I was city attorney for 10 years in Huntington Beach, I fought Sacramento on a regular basis. So for 10 years, I fought Sacramento, taking on the overreach, taking on the mandates, taking on the unconstitutional laws that are coming out of Sacramento. And the only reason I'm running for Attorney General, frankly, is to fight for everyday Californians on a statewide scale rather than just the city of Huntington Beach. There is a great need in the state of California to return to the rule of law, to return to law and order. And one of the reasons that we are seeing the lawlessness that we are seeing up and down the state of California right now, the absolute lawlessness, is because in large part, when Rob Bonta took office in 2021, he was actually a political appointment by Newsom. He didn't get elected to that spot in 2021. He was a political appointment. And ever since he's been in office for the past 5 years, he simply has been running interference and running to cover for corruption. And one of the things that I'm going to do on day one when I'm Attorney General, I'm not going to Sacramento to make friends. I'm probably going to make a lot of enemies because I'm going to Sacramento to fight for everyday Californians, particularly the most vulnerable in our society, which is why this issue, a lot of the complaints, a lot of the concerns that I've been hearing from the community about our family court system, we are going to confront that head on. We are going to make it abundantly clear that the rule of law and law and order has returned to the state of California. One of the reasons why lawlessness runs rampant throughout the state of California is because the top law enforcement officer in the state, Rob Bonta, the Attorney General, has been anything but on the side of the rule of law. He's been running against. We've seen recently him running interference on a rightful investigation in Riverside into election integrity. He's running interference on that investigation. Just let the investigation play out. What are you, afraid of the truth? Right. Rob Bonta is afraid of the truth because he is on the side of lawlessness, which is the only reason I'm in this race in the first place. I could be doing a lot of other things with my time, but I'm choosing to run because I know how bad California is right now, the lawlessness. And so when I'm Attorney General, we are going to confront a lot of the issues like we're seeing here today and a lot of other issues where we are going to return to the rule of law and law and order. And we are going to be advocating in courts. I spent my career as an attorney in the courts, a trial attorney. I was in front of judges every day of the week, every year, year after year. I know the judicial system well as a lawyer being in the courtroom. And we need our judges to sit up a little taller and pay attention and make sure that they're protecting the rights of parties, the constitutional rights of parties. I have heard too many stories from the family court system in particular where judges are actually telling parties the Constitution doesn't apply here. Well, the Constitution does. The 14th Amendment is alive and well, and we are going to make sure when I'm Attorney General that signal is sent loud and clear throughout the state of California that we are going to protect parents' rights, constitutional rights. And so it's a pleasure to be here today. I want to this message to be loud and clear. We are going to return to the rule of law, law and order throughout the state of California when I'm Attorney General, and Rob Bonta is anything but. He has got to go, and when I am AG, people, ladies and gentlemen, overnight we are going to notice a difference, because as Attorney General, I have purview over all the district attorneys in the state of California and all of the sheriffs in the state of California. So I can do all of this without the cooperation or consent of the governor or the legislature. If the legislature tries to interfere or frustrate what I'm doing, I have the constitutional right, the authority under the California Constitution to be directing my sheriffs and to be directing my DAs to be abiding by and enforcing the rule of law to the fullest extent. So I assure you, you will have an advocate when you have me as AG in Sacramento. I promise that. So thank you very much. Thank you for having me here today. Thank you.
Yes. So we need to spread the word, and we need to tell everyone in Northern California, in Southern California, we need to start telling our families. Do you know people don't even know what an Attorney General's office is? They don't know that this is the office that can help stop the corruption going on not only in family courts, but also in all the official offices. These people are corrupt, and this is the only office that is going to be able to help Californians. So I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat or liberal, I don't care. We care about getting good people, a family man. I met his wife. He has children. He has grandchildren. He's been fighting in Sacramento. He knows what's going on when it comes to corruption here in California. It's not only the judicial system, it is every official office in California. So we better make sure that each one of us here today goes out and tells 5 people about Michael Gates, and then they spread it to 5 more people, and we get his name out. We need to get him in office in November, right? Yes, in November. All right, and we thank Michael for being here. Now, we are giving Michael a $25,000 check today, and this is from all the families that we advocate for. This is from all of you. So we thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you.
Let's take a photo real quick. Okay, let's take a photo real quick here.